There are movie stars, and then there are cultural earthquakes. Brigitte Bardot was not just photographed by cinema. She disrupted it. She arrived on screen like a scandal in human form, at a moment when Europe was still pretending to behave. Bardot didn't just act in films. She forced cinema, critics, censors, and even the church to renegotiate what desire, femininity, and freedom could look like on screen. Today, with her passing at 91, it's impossible to talk about Brigitte Bardot only as an actress. She was a rupture, aesthetic, moral, cultural, and cinema has been arguing with her ever since. Bardot's partnership with Roger Vadim didn't merely launch her career, it detonated it. In God Created Woman, 1956, wasn't controversial by accident. It was designed to provoke. Bardot's Juliet wasn't punished for her sexuality, nor redeemed by guilt. She existed freely, physically, unapologetically, and that alone was enough to enrage institutions built on restraint. The film faced censorship across Europe and beyond. Religious authorities condemned it, and cinema, suddenly, had a new axis, the body as a site of rebellion. Vadim continued exploring, sometimes exploiting, this image in films like Love on a Pillow and Don Juan, or If Don Juan Were Woman. These works are uneven, sometimes indulgent, but historically essential. They show how Bardot's image was both a tool of liberation and a battleground over who controlled female desire: the actress, the director, or the audience. If Vadim mythologized Bardot, Louis Malle complicated her. In Viva Maria, 1965, Bardot explodes with comic timing, anarchic energy, and political mischief. Alongside Jean Moreau, she transforms revolution into farce, but a farce with teeth. It's a performance that proves Bardot wasn't merely an icon of flesh, but of rhythm, instinct, and intelligence. Malle pushes further in Spirits of the Dead, the William Wilson segment. Here, Bardot becomes spectral, uncanny, almost abstract, less a woman than a psychological presence. It's a reminder that when filmmakers trusted her beyond her image, Bardot delivered something stranger and more enduring. Henri-Georges Clouzot's The Truth, 1960, is one of Bardot's most underestimated performances. Stripped of myth, she plays a woman crushed by moral hypocrisy and judicial cruelty. The camera no longer worships her body. It interrogates society's need to condemn it. Later, in Shalako, 1968, Bardot enters the terrain of the international adventure film, navigating a male-dominated genre that often didn't know what to do with her beyond her fame. These films may not define her legacy, but they show her constant friction with cinematic structures that struggled to contain her. And then there is Contempt, 1963. One of the greatest films of the 1960s. One of the greatest films ever made. Jean-Luc Godard uses Bardot not as spectacle, but as language. Her body, her silences, her gaze, all become part of cinema's self-critique. She is desire dissected, love fractured, intimacy commodified. This is Bardot as modern tragedy, not the object of desire, but its casualty. If one performance secures her immortality within film history, it is Contempt. Not because she transcends her image, but because Godard exposes the violence hidden inside it. Bardot left cinema in the 1970s, but cinema never left her. Her impact spilled into fashion, photography, music, feminism, and pop culture at large. She reshaped beauty standards, challenged gender roles, and became a symbol, sometimes unwillingly, of personal freedom in a mass media age. Like Marilyn Monroe, Bardot remains frozen in cultural memory, not because she stopped aging, but because she stopped performing for the industry before it could erase her power. Brigitte Bardot didn't just act in films. She forced cinema to confront its own desires, hypocrisies, and limits. And for that, flawed, complicated, undeniable, she remains essential. This was Mr. Smithy Goes to the Movies. And this was Brigitte Bardot, forever larger than the frame that tried to hold her.